Hello everybody, David Shuster here. The Trump campaign just got some awful data for them, and it is staggering. In a Washington Post story, quietly headline, "See how your neighborhood is giving to Trump and Harris." Lead paragraph, in most states across the country, more people donated to Vice President Kamala Harris than to former President Donald Trump. Registered voters in suburbs were about twice as likely to give to Harris as to Trump. That is the sort of donation disparity normally seen in political landslides. And there are now multiple flashing red lights signaling danger for the Trump campaign. Credible, nonpartisan polls show him losing crucial battleground states. Late deciding voters are breaking for Harris by nearly 2-1. And even Trump rally goers seem to be exhausted. In Georgia, dozens of people walked out halfway through this Trump speech. In the speech, Trump seethed at the media for not showing video he played of undocumented migrants.
Because they don't want to give us the privilege of seeing murderers in our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Hours later, Trump erupted on social media. He wrote, "Thank you for your support against a total degenerate named John Kelly, who made up a story out of pure Trump derangement syndrome." Kelly, Trump's former White House chief of staff, says Trump is a fascist who admires Adolf Hitler.
He commented more than once that that Hitler did some good things too. First of all, you should never say that.
Even though I shouldn't be wasting my time with him, it is necessary to hit back in pursuit of the truth. John Kelly is a lowlife and a bad general whose advice in the White House I no longer sought, and told him to move on. But the Trump campaign is having a hard time moving on from the Harris campaign strategy of highlighting former Trump White House aides. Polls show that sharp criticism of Trump from his own former staff is having a big impact on undecided voters. Blueprint 2024, a public opinion research group, found that a closing message highlighting that nearly half of Trump's cabinet refused to endorse him added a 12% preference effect overall for Harris and 14% among independents. That is more than Roe versus Wade abortion messaging or talking about Social Security. The Harris campaign has reportedly seen the same impact from their internal polls. So a day after the Kelly audio tape emerged, Harris went on television and highlighted Kelly's message. It was the political version of a basketball alley-oop. Kelly set it up and Harris slammed it through.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
The claim about Trump's dangerous narcissism has been echoed by several former Trump cabinet members.
Obviously, there's his former vice president. There's Rex Tillerson, who was his Secretary of State, Bill Barr, who was Attorney General, John Kelly, Mark Milley, Mark Esper, who was his defense secretary, Jim Mattis, who was his earlier defense secretary, Dan Coats, who was in charge of the national intelligence. All of these people have come out to issue dire warnings about Donald Trump.
And those warnings by former Trump White House staffers, along with Donald Trump's own dark campaign rhetoric, are now in Kamala Harris campaign ads.
Donald Trump, more dangerous, more erratic than ever before.
Echoing fascists.
The worst people are the enemies from within. The enemy from within are more dangerous than Russia.
We have some very bad people. It should be very easily handled by the military.
I do remember the day that he suggested that we shoot people on the streets.
A second term would be worse. There will be no one to stop his worst instincts. Unchecked power, no guardrails. If we elect Trump again, we're in terrible danger.
Terrible danger. And again, when that comes from former Trump White House staffers and high-ranking Republicans, it packs a punch. On this day, a separate body blow came from another former Trump White House chief of staff. His on-the-record story about Trump's reaction to the price of a veteran's funeral is now in a political ad by the Lincoln Project.
America honors its veterans. In war or peacetime, their loss deserves honor, respect, and dignity.
According to this report, Trump was furious, telling his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, quote, "It doesn't cost $60,000 to bury an effing Mexican."
This is who Donald Trump is. This is what he said about a dead American soldier. Disrespect, insults, contempt for the people he calls suckers and losers. That's the real Donald Trump. And that's un-American.
The hits against Donald Trump keep coming, and all courtesy of his own former White House aides and staffers. The Trump campaign surely knows it is hurting them with undecided voters, and according to multiple reports, the campaign is in a panic and unsure as to how to try to turn things around. In the midst of all of this, there is the issue with Donald Trump himself. Normally in politics, for criticism of a candidate to actually move voters, it needs to be accompanied by public evidence reinforcing the critique. In other words, a former cabinet official or White House chief of staff saying Donald Trump is fascist and dangerous would not necessarily be enough by itself. But Trump himself is saying things that reflect fascism and echo the warnings, despite his campaign's efforts to try to get Trump to tamp it down. Here is MSNBC's Joe Scarborough.
The October surprise has been that Donald Trump has said that Democrats and people in the press who do not support him are the enemy from within and more dangerous to America. He has said it. He has said it. Not me, not Kamala Harris, not General Kelly, not Michael Schmidt, and not Jeffrey Goldberg, but it's Donald Trump who has said that Nancy Pelosi is more of an enemy to America than Kim Jong-un, than Xi, than Putin, and all the other communist leaders and dictators.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with.
And then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia. It is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous. But when you look at Shifty Schiff and some of the others, yeah, they are, to me, the enemy from within. I think Nancy Pelosi is an enemy from within.
So what does it all mean? Has Donald Trump, with his lack of discipline and unhinged rhetoric, guaranteed that he's going to lose this race and Kamala Harris is going to win? Well, here's my view. Kamala Harris is going to be the next president of the United States. She has offered economic plans and details that have largely erased Donald Trump's advantage on the economy, the number one issue for voters. Harris has assembled a unified and enthusiastic coalition ranging from AOC on the left to Liz and Dick Cheney on the right. It is the broadest political coalition in modern U.S. history. By contrast, Donald Trump has been preaching just to his base. The MAGA mania and Trump support have never attracted more than about 47% of the popular vote or gone above 47% in any of these latest polls. Trump's message has not changed through the years. And perhaps most importantly, ever since the Trump Supreme Court justices took away federal abortion rights, Republicans have been on a losing streak. They have lost every state abortion ballot initiative. Republican candidates have lost countless races in districts they previously won easily. And Democratic candidates the past 2 years have repeatedly overperformed compared to pre-election polling. There is a pattern of Democrats doing better than expected with the only poll that matters, the voting results. In my view, this all adds up to a decisive and clear Kamala Harris campaign victory. And I think there's a good chance she wins in an electoral college landslide. In any case, get out and vote and be part of this historic election. Someday our kids and grandkids are going to ask us about that election when America elected the first woman president in U.S. history and told Donald Trump, a convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, and fascist wannabe, to get lost. I know what I'm going to be able to say. Yes, I voted for the winner, Kamala Harris, and thanks to the vote of so many people who put democracy over fascism, stability over instability, and country over party, America was saved. By the way, in Missouri, some MAGA morons recently got busted on camera stealing Harris Wall's yard signs.
Jackson, what?
Shuster.
Okay, so
get a video of this. Get a video of this. This is where they all are.
In Nixa, Missouri, this is the moment a Trump-loving teenager in a wealthy family got busted.
I'm sorry, this is funny. Why don't you just take them all? Here you go, liberals.
That's the mother of the sign-stealing teen. She thinks her MAGA son's antics are funny.
It's more than that, actually.
No, it's not. It's so stupid. Just go vote.
It's a felony, ma'am.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It actually is.
Ma'am, please don't throw these at me.
Stop that. I'm so tired of this.
Come look at all these that are in here.
Ma'am, I'm videoing.
These are the guys that have been doing it.
The couple videotaping, Laura McCaskill and John Cardozo, decided to take action after their Ring camera recorded this: a teenager trespassing on their Springfield property and stealing their Democratic campaign signs. The thefts happened several days in a row, so the couple replaced the signs again, only this time they attached an Apple tracker. It led them to this vehicle 12 miles away. Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Barb Moody, who wrote, "Trump gave his followers permission to be their worst selves." Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump being abandoned and exploding as panic sets in across his campaign. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.